watching this program today, you need to stop addressing me as a self-styled Prime Minister. I am not a self-styled Prime Minister. I was elected by the Biafra Republic Government in Exile Cabinet. And if you care to know, you now contact the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and ask question how Simon Ekpa become the Prime Minister. You were never part of Biafra government. You are not part of Biafra struggle, but you are quick to address me as a self-styled Prime Minister. I am not self-styled Prime Minister. You have to address me properly. I am elected Biafra Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. It's not self-styled. That is the impression I want to correct. One correct mistake I want to correct this evening is that Nigerian media and their brown envelope should stop addressing me as self-styled Prime Minister. We enjoy over 70 million of Biafrans' loyalty. And today, those representing Nigeria within Biafra territory has lost that particular loyalty to us. Because Biafra people have come to understand that we are the only government that fight for them. We are the only government that meant well. We are the only government, irrespective of the blackmail and propaganda. Biafra people are not stupid. They know who love them. And they have come to understand that the Biafra government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland is the only hope of the future of Biafra. So, the reason why this particular broadcast is coming today, we're supposed to have a different broadcast, but because of event, a lot of things transpired, and so I am just here to address Biafrans on a very important issue, which is the invasion of the Nigeria terrorist military into Biafra land. And I want to call on all Biafrans not to panic. Don't panic, because nothing has changed. All the thing you see happening today, from the chief of army staff or whatever they call him, we have defeated him 2 years ago. We defeated Labaja when he was the commander of the 2 Division Nigeria Army Enugu. We defeated him. A lot of people don't know this. The only thing that have changed in his name is general. He has become general. When he was the commander, the GOC of the 2 Division Enugu, he was a major general, and that was just two years ago. So I do not understand. I believe that, of course, Biafra people are not panicking. But the propaganda that comes with it is that Army Chief have given a marching order. Army Chief have ordered Nigeria Army to invade Biafra land. Army Chief have done this and done that, and as if this Army Chief is coming from a moon. As if this Army Chief has not come to Biafra land to, drive the agenda of Fulani. As if this Army Chief is not a Nigerian Army Chief. We've dealt with him before, and we are going to finish it this time around. Before, it was, very, very silent dealing. Now, it is going to be an open dealing. Before I bring the analysis of today, to assure Biafra people that the coming sit at home, in order not to be used for propaganda, in order not to Nigeria to kill you and use your dead body for propaganda against Biafra and Simon Ekpa, you have to stay at home. If you make yourself available to be used by Nigeria terrorist state as a willing tool, blame nobody. Before we go forward, I want every one of you to now listen to how Nigeria have lost over 4 trillion naira just because of our sit at home. Listen to it.
The consequences of the continuous sit at home on the economy of the Southeast is mind-blowing. According to a report from an International Center for Investigative Report, ICIR, there are over 12.215 billion US dollars, or 5.37 trillion, has been lost to the sit at home since September 2021. This chilling figure was further corroborated by a study conducted by SBM Intelligence for Development Dev East Foundation Limited, putting the ongoing loss of the Southeast at about 30% of the gross domestic product of the zone's economy. Aside from the terrible state of trunk A roads, which has become a death trap.
You have just listened to that. Because of our civil disobedience, Nigeria state has lost $12 billion. Over $12 billion. And let me tell you, we are not stopping anytime soon. The game has just begun. I am telling you the fact. So, when they tell you it is your economy, now tell me, have you lost $100 billion to our sit at home? I am asking you, Biafra people, there is nothing like Igbo economy. I have come today to put a nail to the coffin of those narratives. There is nothing. Any place you see anybody, any Afonshi, any corrupt politician telling you how Samanepa is destroying Igbo economy, ask them to tell you, to give you evidence of Igbo economy. There is nothing like Igbo economy. You are not an autonomy government. You do not control your region. You are under Nigeria, and everything we do is under Nigeria. If we strangle your economy, we strangle the remittance you do to the federal government. And I want everybody to understand that they say charity begins at home. Indeed, the charity is beginning at home. And that is why our civil disobedience is to strangle the Southeast government of Nigeria, who single-handedly, out of jealousy, greed, wickedness, and envy, proscribed indigenous people of Biafra as a terrorist group, where they had no arms, where they have not terrorized anybody, only because they were scared of the rising popularity of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the region. They proscribed him. That was not enough. They now went to Kenya to kidnap him, only because they are scared of the rising popularity of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and indigenous people of Biafra. So, our charity begins at home. And that is why when people tell you, go to Abuja and do sit at home, ask them, is it Abuja people that prescribe IPOB? Ask them. Is it Abuja people that kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? I am telling you today, ask them. Is it Abuja people that ordered Malami not to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu since last year? No. From our investigation and our intel, it is the state governors of the Southeast that are representing Nigeria within Biafra territory. And for that reason, our charity, which is to strangle the economy of Nigeria from Southeast, begins at home. And that's exactly what we are doing. And we are not even using any force or any gun to achieve this. Listen to this I'm saying today. Just for you sitting at home for the past 2 years, we have been able to strangle the economy of Nigeria. That $12 billion that they have been making for ages, and there is nothing to show for it, you have actually dealt and they delve into their purse, and you are strangling them from their purse, and they are crying. And I want everyone to understand that today the military are threatening and threatening, and it is not going to move us. Look at this update here. EPA, we will no longer condone sit at home army wants IPOB. And when you see this particular picture here, he is called General Lagbaja, Chief of Army Staff, General Lagbaja, or Major General, they have not promoted him, Major General Lagbaja, Chief of Army Staff. Now, for those of you that don't understand what is going on, we defeated Lagbaja 2 years ago, and I would like to bring the video of Lagbaja for those of you in Biafra land who will think that Lagbaja is now coming and Lagbaja is a spirit, or Lagbaja is a breeze, or Lagbaja is somebody that we should be scared of. I want to assure Biafra's people today, during these 2 weeks at home, just stay indoor. Leave the Biafra Liberation Army and these criminal and terrorists that are invading our land, let them have a field play in Biafra. Do not come out, because the Nigerian army will stop at nothing, killing you and use it as a propaganda. They have done it in the past. They are continue to do it. They will recruit Asaridu Kubo. they will recruit the Bubago, tell them to go to the street and kill people. And then they will say, oh, it is Samanakpa that ordered. We have known their modus operandi, and that is why we always come to shout, so that you will not say nobody told you. Now, I want everybody to listen and watch Lagbaja. This particular Lagbaja now, commanding 82 division. So, he did not come to Biafra land today. He did not just come to know what is going on in Biafra land. He is part of the killings of our people. He has participated in killing our people during Obiano regime. Watch.
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless America, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only.
Now the new GOC of the 82 division, of which Anambra is a member, Coverton, part of service, Matoli Adeyi, Cross River, yes. You know, so you can see he's a very smart gentleman. So I look forward to really working with him. I've had excellent working relationship with all the GOCs since I became governor. You know, so you're welcome. Thank you. So you can also address.
Your Excellency, Chief Obiano, the Governor of Anambra State, senior officers, members of the media, good afternoon. I'm Major General K. Lagbaja, the General Officer commanding the 2 Division. I deemed it right to be in Anambra this afternoon, having just assumed office as the General Officer commanding the 2 Division about a week ago. My visit to Anambra State, especially Onitsha this afternoon, is to serve 3 objectives. First is to come and introduce myself to His Excellency Chief Obiano and tell him that I've assumed command as the General Officer commanding, so that I will not hear it from afar that a new GOC is in town. And secondly is to thank His Excellency for the wonderful job he has done providing necessary assistance to the Nigerian Army and other military formations in Anambra State in terms of vehicles and even in intervention in our infrastructure in the barracks. And thirdly is to quickly come and assess the situation in Anambra State, considering the security challenges that we have experienced in the past 1 week. Having experienced attack by dissident groups and criminal elements on military deployments, especially along the Onitsha, Olu, Owerri corridor, and to sit down, rub minds with my commanders on the ground, and fashion out a way to quickly address the security challenges, so that together we can work as a team and propel this state to the desired economic development of the government and the good people of Anambra State. So I thank His Excellency very well for the wonderful assistance, and I pledge the loyalty and the support of our 82 Division and every Nigerian Army asset and resources that are deployed in the eastern region of Nigeria to use them and bring them to the disposal of the state government to ensure that peace and security reign in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General. Thank you.
That is or was the Labaja, today the Chief of Army Staff, who now is bragging that he is deploying troops to Biafra land to lay siege on our land. The reason why I'm bringing this video is to refresh the brain of Biafra people that you see this road that we are about to walk through again. We have been there before 2 years ago. You see this bragging of Nigeria terrorist army. We have been there 2 years ago. Today we have now metamorphosed to a complete liberation army with force and with modern equipment. 2 years ago, when this man was bragging in Anambra, they deployed him and his troop to Enugu to come and kill Biafrans. He was the GOC of Enugu 82 Division. You see him bragging to Obiano how he has come to do this and do that, while none of them has actually engaged any terrorists from Sahel who have come to lay siege on our forests, who has come to continue to kidnap people in our roads and all that. Many kidnapping by the Fulani terrorists are happening just by the checkpoint, the military checkpoint. None of them has actually arrested any terrorists, never. We have never heard them in the news. We have never seen any picture, any image of them apprehending terrorists. The one they managed to get, they release them after 6 months. They say they are repentant Boko Haram. And then recruit them into Nigeria army again, only to come to our land and begin to commit murder, massacre, genocide, and annihilate our people. So, Biafra people, what you see today, we have been there before. And this time around, it is not going to be even easy for them. Army chief ordered troops to counter sit-at-home enforcers. We are not enforcing sit-at-home. They are the one enforcing the sit-at-home in order to blackmail the movement. You know, they know the implication of sitting at home. They know that once Biafra, as the Biafra has complied for the past 2 years, first, they told you that we cannot sit at home every Monday. Now, they are accepting Monday. They say, oh, leave it on Monday. Leave it on Monday. Monday is good. No! Anytime you become comfortable, it means that the reason for that particular cause has failed. You can never be comfortable and win anything from what you are doing. So when you are embarking on any project, any cause that has to do with civil rights movement or civil disobedience, and then you begin to feel comfortable, it means that that particular purpose has been defeated. So the every Monday sit at home, everybody is comfortable. Nigeria is comfortable. We are seeing that they were not talking, and it means that, you know, gradually they feel that they are defeating the purpose of the Monday sit at home. So we need to speak in a very tough language. That is why since last year we have the 4-day sit at home in December, and then we have another sit at home for many days, and now we have 1 week sit at home, and we are giving condition. The condition is release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who you kidnapped, which is a crime under international law, which your own court has ordered the release. You continue to detain him illegally. So we made this particular declaration. If you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu between now and 30th of this month, we will cancel the 2 weeks sit at home. Failing to release him, you are going to see how this sit at home will break Nigeria up. I am telling you the fact. You see this sit at home, these 2 weeks sit at home, we will come with another tough measures. If after the 2 weeks sit at home, they did not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we will come with another tough measures. Remember, as this sit at home is going, simultaneously, we are going to be implementing the economic sanction, economic sabotage. Anything that is bringing money to the table of Nigeria state within Biafra territory, we must make it difficult for them. It is a right. Anything that is bringing money to facilitate this man pushing Nigerian military and terrorist group into our land to invade our land and intimidate our children, intimidate our women, kill them, molest them, we are going to stop that fund from Biafra territory. Starting from the oil, starting from the revenue generated by state, starting from all this particular revenue they are generating from our market, we will begin to design a template and mechanism to make sure that we reduce the generation of revenue in each state to zero. We told them that the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will facilitate the emergence of Biafra. They thought we were joking. Today, what is happening? I want everyone watching me today to be very, very courageous. Forget all this, their threat, this here and there. Army is coming, you are inviting army. We have been at war with these people for the past 2 years. Is it because it is not on social media? Is it because the Nigerian news are not reporting it? Sometimes we post, we chip you in what is happening in Biafra land. We are at war with Nigeria already. And our job and our duty is to carry our people along for them to understand that what we are doing is for their own good. We are fighting to protect you. When these terrorists come, the army is not there. You rely on individual security. You rely on private security. You rely on a vigilante group. You rely on a bubago that have come as a jihad in a jihadist disguise. They tell you, oh, army is not enough. They tell you police is not enough. But when it comes to Biafra struggle, you see them deploying army. You see them deploying security. The security they cannot deploy when there is an attack in a community by the Fulani terrorists. The security they will not deploy when 700 people killed in Plateau State. The security they will not deploy when Benue State is under bombardment by terrorist jihadists. When these people come to kill, you will not see the military. The military is always strong when it comes to Biafra liberation. The military is always showing force when they see our women and our children without arms. But when they see Biafra Liberation Army, they run for their life. I want to encourage every one of you today to stand very strong. In the coming days and weeks will be very, very interesting. I want you to understand that the days ahead are evil. You must stand very strong. I am sending a very strong message to the Biafra Liberation Army commanders, the personnel, the Eastern Security Network to stand strong. There is nothing have changed. What you see now is old wine in new bottle, or new wine in old bottle. It is the same thing. Now the same people, Labaja has been there 2 years ago, we defeated him. We defeated his troop, we defeated his men, he could not deliver. When he was in Kaduna, they say he did a good job to terrorists. We are not terrorists. We are fighting a just cause, and the land of Biafra is fighting and protecting our men. That's why nobody can come to Biafra land and defeat us. Go and mark it today. Labaja will be disgraced in Biafra land in the coming weeks. Nigeria Terrorist Army will be disgraced in Biafra land in the coming weeks. In the coming weeks, Labaja will never ever remain the same in his career. Believe me and mark what I'm saying today. Why I brought this video is for Biafra people who are now panicking that, oh, Labaja has come, Labaja has come. To tell you that Labaja has been there, commanding 82 Division 2 years ago during Governor Obiano's regime. And you see him promising Governor Obiano, did he change anything? Did he stop us from agitating for Biafra? Did he stop the sit at home? He didn't stop the sit at home. While he was the GOC of the 82 Division, Obiano was going from one market to another doing town crier. Come out and sit at, don't sit at home, don't sit at home. Did anybody listen to them? These leaders are criminals, corrupt leaders that doesn't have the interest of Biafra at heart. We have the interest of Biafra at heart, and that's why the Biafra people must listen to us and follow what we are doing so that it is going to lead to their freedom. When freedom comes, you are going to have good hospital, you are going to have good school, you are going to have social amenity, you are going to have what we call social benefit. We are going to build Biafra nation from scratch like we are doing it already. So what is it that will make you to continue to support Nigeria? A Nigeria state where nothing works, Nigeria state where police can brutalize you, Nigeria state where military do not have any conscience, Nigeria state where military is doing police work, Nigeria state where you are practicing democracy, but military are everywhere in your street laying siege. In Nigeria, where you have a different system in the north and different system in the south. The one in the south is not favorable to you, but those in the north are favorable to them. So I want you to understand that Nigeria is an Islamic state, and we are not going to succumb to the threat of Nigeria. We are not going to succumb to the threat of those invading our land, subjugating us into slavery. We are not going to succumb. We are out to fight our freedom and get our freedom, and this year. And it starts with civil disobedience. This civil disobedience, I thank Biafra people for being consistent. You see, consistency is the key. And today, they are confessing and confessing and confessing. And for that reason, I want you also to listen to this.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making. And you
The consequences of the continuous sit-at-home on the economy of the Southeast is mind-blowing, according to a report from an international...
The consequences of the sit-at-home in the Southeast is indeed mind-blowing. Did you hear that? The consequences of the sit-at-home in the Southeast is mind-blowing. I want all of you to understand that those politicians who come from the Southeast and they claim to go to Abuja, they did not go to demand the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ask yourself, why are they not talking about solving the problem that is bringing the sit-at-home and they are attacking Simon Ekpa? Why are they focused on the reaction, equal and opposite reaction? Why are they focusing on what Simon Ekpa is doing because of their lawlessness, because of what they have done to the Biafra people? Why do they focus on the reaction of Simon Ekpa and Biafra people and not solving the problem? Why can these people understand that they violated their own law by not releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why can't these people understand that it is not Simon Ekpa, that you must first of all obey your own law before going to another country and demand justice? You can't be coming to Finland and telling Finland, somebody is causing problem, somebody in your country, somebody, you need justice. While you are also being lawlessness in your own country. You don't respect your own law, you do not value your own people, you don't have anything to, you don't protect your own people, and you are expecting other countries to listen to you. It doesn't work like that. You have to first of all live by example. The way you treat your people is the way other people treat you. And what we are doing today is under international law. Fighting for freedom is not a crime. Self-defense, using the same weapon that you are using to kill us, is not a crime. Are you expecting Simon Ekpa to buy knife and buy dagger and give to Biafra Liberation Army to fight you with AK-47? It doesn't work like that. Are you expecting Simon Ekpa to give Biafra Liberation Army Chandum gun when you come with a machine gun and RPG? No, you don't expect us to do like that. If you come with RPG, we are going to defend ourselves with RPG. If you come with GPMG, we are going to defend ourselves with GPMG. If you come with anti-aircraft, we are going to defend ourselves with anti-aircraft. If you come with helicopter, we are going to defend ourselves with anti-aircraft. So you don't expect me to go and start giving knife and machetes to people to fight those who come with guns. So if you come during these 2 weeks sit at home to fight Biafra people, we are going to resist you with the same weapon you are coming to kill our people with. Equal measure, even more powerful weapon that we are going to use if you come to kill Biafra people. We are going to defend our land with more powerful weapon. Come in this particular sit at home. So come, in the name of trying to, we are not forcing anybody to sit at home. Biafra people are tired of staying in Nigeria. Forget your blackmail, forget your propaganda. If you say that I'm lying, conduct a referendum and let those who want to leave Nigeria vote that they want to leave Nigeria. Let us see who is more in number. Whether the criminals supporting you are bigger in number than those who want. If you have access to any country that is going to give us arms and ammunition, please, we are open and our arms are open. We want more of them to be able to defend our land. So I do not know why people who claim to be fighting for Biafra will be sharing my audio where Samarepa is talking about, you think I'm going to be using catapult to defend Biafra? No, it is not catapult. We are going to source for arms and modern weapons to be able to face Nigeria state. And that's exactly what we are doing. That's why they can never defeat us. Stand very firm. Stand your ground that the
so-called Fulani herdsmen and the Fulani elite
specifically into the systematic killing, targeting the indigenous.
Clear that now we put the Biafran issue
Going in white
as we've done in South Sudan.
formally open an investigation and look into what we are defining as a genocide that's being committed by the Nigerian government and extremist Fulanis against the indigenous people of Biafra.
There's been nothing in experience since 1960 to suggest there simply is not a way, given the history of division between the Fulani and the Biafrans, to think that they can coexist under a single sovereign roof.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we're making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
All right, I am bringing again the video of the consequences of our civil disobedience in Biafra land.
The consequences of the continuous sit-at-home on the economy of the Southeast is mind-blowing. According to a report from an International Center for Investigative Report, ICIR, there are over 12.215 billion US dollars or 5.37 trillion has been lost to the seat at home since September 2021. This chilling figure was further corroborated by a study conducted by SBM Intelligence for Development Dev East Foundation Limited, putting the ongoing loss of the Southeast at about 30% of the gross domestic product of the zone's economy. Aside from the terrible state of Trunk A roads, which has become a death trap in recent times, transportation and one of the indispensable lifewires of the economy in the region is losing over 10 billion naira for each seat-at-home day. That means that every loss to the Southeast is a gain to the economy of other zones in Nigeria. However, lawmakers from the Southeast region of the country are not leaving any stone unturned in ensuring that the insecurity connected to the seat-at-home of the faction of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB led by Simon Ekpa comes to an end. So joining us now on the show is Ikenga Ngochiere, member House of Representatives for Idiato Federal Constituency in Imo State. Great to have you, Ikenga. Ikenga, how can we end this menace of seat-at-home that has become a nefarious needle needling the good people of the Southeast?
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, fellow Biafrans. And as you all can see, we must be very, very, very consistent in what we do. Do not listen to any media propaganda. Stand your ground. They never loved you. They have been making this money for the past 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, and you don't have road. You have no good road. You have no good hospital. You have no good school. You don't have a job. There is nothing to show for it. This time we fight once and for all. And I want to promise all of you one thing. I have come to finish it. Listen and listen very attentively. I have come to finish it. This is a relay, and I am going to be the last leg. You know, in relay, you run and pass the betting, and the person will take the betting and run to pass to another one. I am the last person, and I am going to be the last leg to finish this race. Mazinam Dekano, who have done all, they betrayed him, and today they use him to do politics. Some people will go to Abuja to discuss how to get appointment, and then they will come to social media and write they went there to discuss about the release of Mazinam Dekano. It is all lies. My anger came from the fact that after the meeting in Abuja, 2 governors contacted me because it's like they are not happy anymore, even though they cannot show it. They contacted me and they said enough is enough, yet they cannot be bold enough to do something. They will even order this military to go and start attacking our men. 2 governors of the Southeast contacted me and told me the reason for Abuja meeting is to deploy the military, to try once more that they don't want to release Mazinam Dekano. So it is evil and very unbelievable that while they are in the closed door having meeting, and they will come publicly to lie, and these people don't even have conscience. They come publicly to the press to lie about they are demanding Mazinam Dekano release. It is a lie. What they went to Abuja to do is to bring more military to see whether they are going to succeed. But let me tell you, like I have already told them, this time around, it is going to touch everybody. I am telling you the fact. This particular seat at home, if military come to kill any Biafran, it is going to escalate. And the escalation will be worse than what you see today. May God bless Mazinam Dekano. May God bless Biafra. May God bless Biafra Liberation Army. May God bless the Eastern Security Network. May God bless the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. May God bless the woman and their husband. May God bless all our cabinet. May God bless the sponsors of this liberation movement of Biafra. May God bless all of you who pray for us. May God bless all the kings, all the chiefs, the de facto government in the homeland. May God bless all of you. I want everybody to understand that we are working out our palliative for the 2 weeks sit at home. And it will be communicated in a way that our people will be safe. We have gotten intel that some of the governors are planning to start attacking our people when they collect the palliative. So we are going to put a very good mechanism in place to make sure that this palliative goes to people that need it most during these 2 weeks at home. From here, from me, is good evening. I love you all. Mazinan Bikam love you all. Biafra Republic Government in Ezra love you all. We remain the only legitimate government within the Biafra territory. Good night.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important. And this very evening, we are facing
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless America, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the only ones to make her better, the only
gentleman, so I look forward to really working with him. I've had excellent working relationship with all the GOCs since I became governor. So you're welcome. Thank you. So you can also address. Let's go ahead.
Your Excellency, Chief Obiano, the Governor of Anambra State, senior officers, members of the media, good afternoon. I'm Major General K. Lagbadia, the General Officer commanding the 2 Division. I deemed it right to be in Anambra this afternoon, having just assumed office as the General Officer commanding the 2 Division about a week ago. My visit to Anambra State, especially Onitsha this afternoon, is to serve 3 objectives. First is to come and introduce myself to His Excellency, Chief Obiano, and tell him that I've assumed command as the General Officer commanding, so that I will not hear it from afar that any GOC is in town. And secondly is to thank His Excellency for the wonderful job he has done providing necessary assistance to the Nigerian Army and other military formations in Anambra State in terms of vehicles and even in intervention in our infrastructure in the barracks. And thirdly is to quickly come and assess the situation in Anambra State, considering the security challenges that we have experienced in the past 1 week. Having experienced attack by dissident groups and criminal elements on military deployments, especially along the Onitsha, Olu, Owerri corridor, and to sit down, rub minds with my commanders on the ground, and fashion out ways to quickly address the security challenges, so that together we can work as a team and propel this state to the desired economic development of the government and the good people of Anambra State. So I thank His Excellency very well for the wonderful assistance, and I pledge the loyalty and the support of our 82 Division and every Nigerian Army asset and resources that are deployed in the eastern region of Nigeria, to use them and bring them to the disposal of the state government to ensure that peace and security reign. Thank you, Excellency.
And this very evening, we are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you, that they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond, to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully, and they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. They will buy some of you over. The spirit of Oba Biasika and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we're doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwukika Abiyama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora Eri, the same God of Owe Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not to be nobody, the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is He omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who we have chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who, from their mother's womb, they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these no-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.